No hyperbole. I think I just got done watching one of the worst episodes of AEW Dynamite in the company's history. It's definitely the worst Fallout episode following a pay-per-view. Revolution of all pay-per-views. Is it the worst? Will it be the worst in history? Hey, I'm pretty sure there have been worse, and there will be in the future. I'm talking about this one. For now. I came out of this show, and I mean this, honestly feeling like this was a waste of my time. You never want fans to leave a show feeling that way. You never want fans to get done watching a 2-hour plus episode of any show, and go, I wasted my time. That's what this episode was. This didn't even feel like a Dynamite. This was so bad. The quality of what I expect a Dynamite to be, even if it's bad, they could not even meet that. I would compare this to a 2-hour Rampage. Not even a Collision. Some are calling it a 2-hour Collision. No. This is a 2-hour Rampage. Maybe even AEW Dark. I cannot believe how badly they fumbled the ball on the follow-up to a great pay-per-view. I thought AEW Revolution, which I bought, by the way, was a great pay-per-view. The main event was ass. Some are calling it the worst AEW main event in history. Again, I don't know if that's true. I'll put it up there as one of the worst. It was definitely one of their worst in a while. Having Adam Copeland, or Cope, take on Mox. The match was uneventful, lapsadaisical, kind of boring. And then you had Christian Cage cash in, which gave it some excitement, only for him to fail. That long-term story they told with the patriarchy, Christian Cage, winning that contract at All In last year, holding it for half a year plus, only to fail. Not to succeed, which is what people wanted, which is what people like me predicted, but to fail. And who does that help? You had an opportunity to do something different, to restore the feeling with Christian Cage as world champion. Imagine Christian Cage as world champ, wrestling Adam Copeland, revisit that, fighting Swerve, fighting Darby Allin, fighting Will Ospreay, who's apparently going to be in the main event of All In. He should be. You had an opportunity to make fans excited for your product, but you couldn't pull the trigger. You stuck with your guns, stubbornly stuck with your guns, and kept this abysmal storyline going with the Death Riders. No one cares. No one wants to see this. No one wants to see Jon Moxley, this version of Jon Moxley, be world champion. It's horrible. Garbage. The moment we realized that Shane McMahon was not coming in, this died. Honestly, even if Shane was coming in to save this, he couldn't. No one cares. It's dead in the water. It's a ratings killer, Tony. And it's hurting the talent. It's hurting Pac. It's hurting Claudio. It's hurting Marina. It's hurting Wheeler. It's definitely hurting Jon Moxley. I'm at the point where I'm almost begging someone, not in a good way, not in a, oh, I want to pay good money to see him lose. No, it's a, I don't want to watch your product anymore until you take the title off of him kind of heat. Go away heat. It's that bad. You had the opportunity to be done with him, and you stuck to your guns. And now, coming out of this Dynamite, what are we getting from it? We're going to get another Jon Moxley versus Cope match. Street fight. Why? Because the first one was so bad, you felt it was necessary to give them a second opportunity to create the classic match you think they can have. It's not there, Tony. These two don't have that chemistry. Will their second match be better? It better be. By default, it should be. But it also speaks to how bad that first one was because you made us pay $50 to see it. We spent $50 on this match. And now you're going to give it away for free? Only for Cope to lose again? He will lose again. He's not going to beat Moxley. I would love for him to beat Moxley. Any means necessary, get that belt off of Moxley, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. More than likely, either Jay White will cost him again or he'll turn on him. Like turn heel on him. I don't know. But it's incredible to me how stubborn Tony Khan can be. Because everyone is telling him, we want to get away from this. And even despite all that, he sticks to his guns. When everyone said, put the belt on Christian Cage, his mindset was, let's just get that contract off of him. Why should I invest in anything you do long term when this is the result? All it takes is one. And Tony Khan has been known to just cut storylines because he gets bored of them, he loses track of them, or he stops caring. He doesn't know how to finish it, so he just cuts it. That's what's happening with the Death Rider storyline. You have no idea how to finish it. So you're just dragging it along for no reason. For no reason whatsoever. You can't even take Jon Moxley in a different direction and have him be a different champion away from the Death Riders. You're just keeping the Death Rider storyline going. If that was the only problem, I'd be okay with AEW, but no, it's not, ladies and gentlemen. This episode had something in it, had a lot of things in it, but the main thing in it that really pisses me off is the lazy booking. What do I mean by that? What does Tony Khan do every time he doesn't know what to do with his roster? You already know the answer. He does a tournament. That's all he does. When he doesn't know what to do, he does a random ass tournament every single time. Can we stop with the tournaments? Tony Khan, you have 2 tournaments. Owen Hart Cup, which determines the main event or the championship matches for All In, women and men. Very important. And then Continental Classic. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need any other tournaments except those 2. The rest are lazy booking. Next time, do a Battle Royal. Do one of those casino gauntlet matches that you love so much. Also overplayed. Do something else. Or, I don't know, be creative. Which is hard for you to do, apparently. But he had another goddamn tournament to pick who fights Kenny Omega. Oh, great. Well, we already know he's not losing that belt, so this tournament is worthless. It's a worthless tournament. We all know that eventually Omega will fight Okada at All In, and you will hopefully unify those belts. Too many belts. Time to converge some championships. But we know Kenny's not losing that belt until then. And even then, I don't think Kenny should lose the belt. I think he should beat Okada. If I'm being honest with you. Kenny is not losing this belt. So I'm already not invested in this tournament. I don't care who you put in it. Ricochet, I love. Speedball, Mike Bailey. Great talent. He ain't beating Kenny Omega. Nobody in this tournament has the credibility to convince me that they will beat Kenny Omega. Will the match be great? That's not the point. You have to get me invested in the story, Tony. Which is something you're lacking across the board. Case in point, Toni Storm. To be fair, it's hard to follow Mariah May and Toni Storm's incredible storyline. One of your best. The best female wrestling, female-oriented storyline that you have so far, of course. It's hard to follow that. But how you followed it ain't it. So Toni Storm came out on this show saying goodbye to Mariah and then made the challenge to other women to step up. Great promo, by the way. Who steps up? Not Thunder Rosa, not Jamie Hayter, I know she has visa issues, so don't know when she'll be back. Not more. I was thinking of Saraya. I don't know why I was getting ready to say Mariah. Sorry, Saraya. Don't know what's going on with her. But my first two picks would have been Jamie Hayter or Saraya. They have history with Toni. No need to revisit anything. Just continue their feud. But can't do that now because they're not here. And so instead of using someone who you could build up, who's been working, you went with Megan Bayne. She literally just got here. I don't even know who she is. I barely know who she is. Has she even had a promo? What is her character? It's like you just threw her at Toni, knowing that she's not going to beat Toni. We all know Toni's going to beat her. Oh, great. It's another Deonna Purrazzo. That was Deonna's first problem. You brought her in and immediately threw her at the Women's World Championship. And that killed her. You killed her. You did not give fans an opportunity to get to know Deonna first, build some wins behind her, and then had her go after Toni Storm. You're making the same mistake with Megan Bayne. Same mistake. You're bringing her in immediately throwing her at Toni Storm, and you know she's going to lose. What is so hard about waiting, building up momentum, treating her like a Brock Lesnar, female Brock Lesnar, having her pick up a win here, go months, undefeated. Build up that momentum to where she's a sawn-off monster, the impending doom to Toni Storm. Then do the match. Now you have interest. Now we feel like, oh my God, Toni Storm might actually lose this belt. What a concept. No, screw all that, right? Let's just throw her at Toni Storm just to lose. Great booking. And I feel bad for Megan Bayne because she actually has potential. I haven't heard her talk yet, but Jesus Christ, she's got the stature. She's not bad inside the ring. If she can't talk, give her a manager. They're rushing this. They're rushing this too soon because Toni doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. I'm happy we're building something with Mercedes Moné, Billy Starks, because that's clearly going to lead to Athena and Mercedes for hopefully Double or Nothing. Hopefully. Maybe even Dynasty. I think we're going to go long term with it and get to Double or Nothing. Hopefully. MJF and Hangman was, if not the best thing on this show for the last month. That string of great shows or good shows they've had, yeah, it ended today. And I was hoping that they would continue it. And maybe they are. Maybe they are going to continue it. We'll have to see. Here's my issue with what they're doing so far. Well, let me talk about this. The Hurt Syndicate is now working with MJF. Why? And no, it's not about this or that. Listen, it's been clear who they're trying to go after. That's been the same thing with the Hurt Business. They aren't saying it out loud. It's implied, right? So excuse me for the whiplash where it's like, whoa, these guys too? What about? And sometimes you can make that work. It's not really a thing about color. Who cares? The whole point is this is out of left field. What does MJF have anything to do with the Hurt Business? If anything else, they should be going after MJF. They should see MJF as a threat to what they want to do, which is conquer AEW. He gets in the way of that. But for some reason, they're helping him to take out Hangman Page? Yeah, I don't get that whatsoever. Are we even doing MJF and Hangman Page? Because it feels like after that promo, they're going to go their separate ways and then come back later. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping they continue it. This could be a 3-month feud, if you want it to be. But even if we're going away from it or continuing it. There's no reason for MJF to be associated with the Hurt Syndicate. That just feels out of left field. But we're doing it. All right. Don't know why. That just feels weird. And then we got these random matches with, I don't even know how to pronounce their names. It was the Ops versus some jobbers. And then they did this other 6-man tag with Hologram. And then Dralistico and Will Hobbs. It was such a weird card. And yes, you had those tournament matches that no one cared about. And then, to top it all off, the main event was Hechicero versus Orange Cassidy. What? The same Orange Cassidy that couldn't even get on the main card of the pay-per-view. Orange Cassidy was on the pre-show. 0 hour. And now he's main eventing Dynamite against Hechicero. What are we doing? What in the world? Honestly, if you were gonna premiere Mike Bailey, he should have closed the show. At least close the show with a surprise. I even thought Mike Bailey and Beast Mortos, right? Beast Mortos had the better match anyways. Such weird structures of these cards and weird booking decisions all around. And now Christian Cage is going to break up with the patriarchy. They teased that out of nowhere. Takeshita took on Max Caster because that's the Max Caster gimmick. He's the best wrestler alive, but he loses every match. Okay, I got it. Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander are now apparently friends after their rivalry with no explanation. None at all. No explanation. They're just cool now. And then freaking Megan Bayne, who's starting a feud with Toni Storm, is now also attacking Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. So she's in multiple feuds. Are we setting up a multi-woman match with Toni Storm? All right. Again, it's one of those things where everything is just kind of happening with no rhyme or reason whatsoever. And I'm just kind of just sitting here like, can you just make it all make sense, Tony? Because right now, none of this, except for Will Ospreay trying to main event All In. Great. Here's the problem with that. The Owen Hart tournament ain't starting until after Double or Nothing. Which is, what, June? Well, Double or Nothing is at the end of May. It's at the end of May every single time. So, we're not going to even start the first match until June. Okay. Well, since All In is in July, they really need to start the tournament. They probably will start the tournament in May. If it's in May, June, that's still a ways off. 2 to 3 months off. What is Will Ospreay going to do in the meantime? Come out and say hi? Jesus Christ. Honestly, use this opportunity to have him fight Kenny Omega. There's someone that's credible to fight him. To make me think, oh, he could lose his belt. I know he won't, but it's not about that. It's about the story, Tony. Where's the story? Coming out of the show, it made me feel like you don't know what you're doing. Those last few episodes, the last week or so since probably even before Australia, Grand Slam Australia, it feels like a fluke. It feels like a fluke. Because everyone was saying, oh, AEW's back. The feeling is restored. And I was one of the main ones saying, I don't know about this. They always go on these streaks, and it feels like we figured it out, and then you do something to make me go, no, you haven't. That's what this episode was. This episode was that reminder, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yes, the wrestling is good. You gotta do better than that now. You're in competition with WWE, whether you like it or not. And not just WWE, but NXT. NXT last night had their best 2-hour episode under Shawn Michaels. So good, I'm scared they won't be able to top it. Their next PLE special, Stand and Deliver, won't compare. It will parrot comparisons. It will fail to live up to the standard that episode set. NXT Roadblock. That's what you're competing against. And if this is what we're going to get going forward, oh my goodness. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. He doesn't know what he's doing. He lacks the ability to create buzz, to maintain interest, creative. Tony, you're not good at this, dude. I'm begging you to hire somebody. Anybody. Hire someone. I mean, there's got to be somebody out there. What happened to Jimmy Jacobs? Did he just not do it for you? I don't know what to say. I thought this was an absolute fumble by AEW. When they should have hit the ground running, they tripped. Following a great pay-per-view, where I spent $50, by the way. When it comes to Dynasty, I might have to skip that one. I'm serious. With the way things are looking, I'm pretty sure the wrestling will be great. But you're expecting me to spend $50 every single month to watch these shows when you're giving me a weak product every single week. I can just save my $50 until Double or Nothing and then all in. I thought it was bad. I thought it was an absolute fumble on AEW's part. Agree or disagree? It's up to you. We're not back yet. AEW's not back. The feeling, what do they call it? The feeling hasn't been restored. They got a lot of work to do. They better get started. Get to work. Thank you for watching. This is Alyx. Just Alyx signing out right here in Alyx's world. A safe space for wrestling fans like you.